Hello, Ora Valley. I have the pleasure today to introduce to you a referee, and his name is Mark Ijames. And so I've been talking this week to coaches, and so I wanted a different perspective. And so Mark has agreed to share with us his side of refereeing, what he does. So Mark, go ahead and share with us what you do.
Well, first of all, I haven't always been a referee. I actually was a player, and then I played baseball. That was my claim to fame as an athlete. And then as my career came to a close, I morphed into refereeing or officiating sports on varying levels, and from professional all the way down to middle school. But that being said, my responsibility as an official and how that connects with coaches and teams is my responsibility is to manage the two teams and the emotions that go on within the framework of that game or that event. As a referee, we know emotion on one side and there's tons of emotion on the other side, and the two teams are using their skill sets to create a situation where they're going to win or lose ball game. And all that notwithstanding, as a referee, we know those emotions, that energy runs high, and we manage those situations all within the framework of a rule structure that helps guide us as officials when the situation arises we're not sure how to handle.
Well, you are in a tough situation. I have been the grandparent watching the games, and I hear some of the parents go after the referee, so I feel for you. So you've got a hard job is what I'm trying to say, just to handle all of it. So thank you.
Well, I would say that the job is not necessarily hard. It's actually unique, which also, you being in the business you're in, means it has value.
Yes.
So that being said,
Yes.
The value and the uniqueness of my job is not only do I help these players, athletes, understand the game to a certain level. Unlike coaches are teaching their players how to maximize their skill set relative to the game that they're playing. Me as an official, I just manage emotions within that framework of rules that we have to guide us throughout each and every event that I end up at a site working. As an official, in managing those situations, there's a rule structure, and there's also within managing, as I continue to say manage, because there are a lot of things that go on. There are tons of layers that I can't really peel back right now. I've got to. We see things in a different perspective. We want these players, athletes, to be the best they can be. We know what's at stake. We also, in the framework of managing and handling what goes on, we also know that what decisions we make actually affects the results and also affects those emotions. So we have to keep a level of civility throughout the game or match, depending on what sport. And also, we're the voice of reason. We have to be the voice of reason. There are a lot of things that are said and done on the court you just kind of ignore.
Yep.
And then there are things that you have to address, and they're the ones that you cannot just walk away and say, I can't address that. And that's part and parcel to what I do. Now, we call plays, violations, we manage situations. Players, coaches, fans, grandparents.
Yes. Yes. How long have you been doing the referee? Did we cover that already?
We have not, and if I tell you, then I'll be disclosing part of my age. So I will say I've had a couple years in.
Okay, all right.
Just a handful, maybe.
All right, sounds good. And so what are the sports that you usually referee?
I referee college basketball, high school basketball, and I also do high school volleyball. A different sport. I didn't grow up playing the game of volleyball. I didn't know anything about the sport. However, I knew how to handle coaches, players, and understanding the rule book, and I learned as I went along. The officiating side has helped me not only personally, professionally, outside of the game, understanding as to when you're in a contentious situation with a coach or even a player for that matter, and their emotions are running pretty hot and you have to be that voice of reason. You also can parlay that into your home life, into your other job, and how to manage those situations in conflict with respect to coaches or respect to colleagues in general. There are some important cues that you go about using with respect to that. Is, there are certain things that you can say, but you have to be more attuned to what you should not be saying.
Yes.
And because that can be inflammatory and just grow into a fire that you can't put out.
Well, you are really focused when you're on the game because there's so much that you have to see and watch for. And that's impressive. I bet you're exhausted by the time the game's over.
I am exhausted mentally. Physically, there are times I'm exhausted both ways, but mentally, it's just knowing that this is a tough situation. I have to have a whole lot of layers to have to peel back to get to the end result. But it's refreshing to know that you did your best you could do, and I sleep very comfortably at night. Every time I come home from a game, I never come home from a game thinking that I just didn't. I give everything I have to give, and being that I'm sitting here with you today, I referee women's college basketball.
Oh,
So there is a different dynamic that I've morphed into, and I love the game of women's basketball. It's speaking of using the word refreshing. It's refreshing to go out on the floor. There's nothing greater to me than watching two competitive, athletically skilled teams, and they be all girls, and they can actually put the ball in the basket, and they can do that. That's so refreshing to me. I've always loved women's sports, doing volleyball as well. It's amazing to watch those skilled athletes. We all see the men. Women don't get enough airtime or playtime, and I take great pride in being part of that growth and maturation of women's sports.
wonderful. Well, thank you for bringing that up because you're absolutely correct. So, I think you pretty much shared with us your side of it. Is there anything else that you would like to close up with? Anything else that you would like to share with our Oro Valley audience?
Yes, I have a lot.
Let's see, we got 2 hours and 15 minutes to go.
I will try to make this easy. Those of you out there who've been considering or not even considering officiating sports, this is my plug on become an official. Become an official. It will help you not only with understanding the game that you may not have grown up playing, or it also helps you understand better the game that you do know a lot about in a different perspective and how that is handled. We need officials out here. We need officials out here in the Arizona area all around, but just nationwide, this area specifically. And I think it would pay you great dividend. And once you get in there, it serves multiple purposes. You get to stay in shape and get paid to do it.
And you get to go to all the games.
You get to go to games. You get to see some of the top tier athletes you never would ever think you'd be next to. You're actually handing a ball to so they can put it in play. And these people grow up and you see them on TV making a lot more money than the two of us make combined. So, maybe.
Probably.
Maybe.
All right.
That being said, by all means, get involved. We tell our kids to get involved in sports. Well, there comes sport and athleticism has a shelf life, but you can continue on with that by being an official, and you get paid to do it. And once you get involved, it's like, I don't want to get yelled at. Well, you're going to get yelled at by somebody.
Yep.
So I get paid to get yelled at, and I'm happy to do it.
Well, from me, just a little bit that I know you, you dot your I's, you cross your T's, and you make the decision with your brain, not so much your heart, which is good because you need that as a referee. So, Mark, thank you so very much for your time today and sharing your insight as a referee. I truly believe whatever games that you are overseeing, that you're doing a great job for the coaches, for the families, and so thanks again for what you do.
Absolutely. And here again, by all means, those of you out who see this, please get involved. We love to have people who are interested, who want to learn the game, understand the game, and watch the game grow as they grow with the game. You know, there's nothing more, I guess, frustrating to me than having a fan or grandparent that or parent be in a game and the rules changed 15 years ago when they were playing.
Yes.
And they think it's the same rule. I'm like, okay, that rule changed 15 years ago, so we're doing something different now. But being part of the game and as an official, you're up to everything. So when you have comment or concern about something, you're doing it with the requisite information that is, you know, today and not 15 years ago, back when maybe you or your family member played. So that being said, I've plugged twice on this, so come on out and join us. We'd love to have you.
All right, and after this video, I will have Mark's information. If you want to call him, email him to talk more about it, please do. Thanks so much.
Thank you.